going to let you get away with this and I'm going to take you to court.
But despite the court finding in her favour, Sarah says Packlink has just ignored the verdict.
I heard nothing from Packlink and I emailed them and I sent them a copy of the judgment and I said, so here you are, when can I expect my compensation? And I got no reply, no response, nothing.
Martyn James from Consumer Resolution Service Resolver says he's received over 800 complaints about Packlink so far this year alone. Like Matt, a lot of people seem to have fallen foul of Packlink's terms and conditions, but Martyn says that a company's small print cannot trump your consumer rights that are enshrined in law.
It's always worthwhile reading through the small print, but bear in mind that just because something's in a contract doesn't mean that that contract is fair. This is a relatively new area at the moment. The company has only been around for a short period of time, so it's yet to be seen whether they're acting appropriately or whether many of the things in the contract are fair in law. But certainly, if you feel that you've been misled or there's no chance of you winning, then you should always complain about it.
And this group of very unhappy Packlinkers say that they will certainly steer clear of the company in the future.
It makes me very cross.
I just can't accept that there'll be no compensation and no comeback.
I would never use the company again.
Some circumstances there, but when we spoke to Packlink, it told us while it understood how frustrating damaged or lost parcels are, only a small fraction of its deliveries result in a claim, over 90% of which are accepted and paid out.
It stood by the decision that it had made in all of our cases, saying Matt and Sue's claims were both rejected due to inadequate internal packaging, so it was their fault. However, it said as a gesture of goodwill, it had now, we love those words, don't we? It had now fully reimbursed both of these cases.
After our phone call. Now, in Sue's case, it said it requires 3 images to process the claim in order to know the actual damage to the goods and what external and internal packaging was used, so it can best judge the claim in question.
And as for Sarah, well, who took Packlink to court and won, it said the delay in paying out was because it hadn't received her court order, but that this has now been settled, which is pretty good news, isn't it, all round?
We like a bit of good news, don't we? Now, I want to know what you think, but we're going to look at the papers because on the front page of the Times today, this is rather interesting because for travellers, as from today, in fact, 1-hour COVID tests at airports set to reopen. And this is the story that rapid tests are to be introduced at Heathrow today to allow passengers to enter countries where a negative COVID-19 result is required. So that probably means no quarantine, doesn't it, in that?
Yeah.
So it's initially for Hong Kong and Italy, but it will cost you £80. But the hope is that it could open up trips to all sorts of other places.
Yeah, it'd be a game changer, won't it? More good news, actually, this time for our wallets today, as the Express says, £100 energy bill savings as price cap is extended. What they're referring to is the news that millions of households could save after the regulator Ofgem agreed to extend the current price cap until the end of 2021, and that's going to be terrific news for a lot of households.
I could do with a bit of that. I'm always fighting my energy through this programme,
you
really.
Are, aren't you?
Now, meanwhile, I promise you, I swear on my brownie's honour, that I am not just looking at Simon Cowell's rather flabby tummy there, but he has lost the weight, of
Gloria,
course.
that would put people off their eggs and bacon at this time of the morning.
Maybe you're right. Meanwhile, what I really was looking at, actually, was at the bottom of the page, because it's a warning for all you gardeners out there. Be warned, Japanese knotweed, the sequel, says the Daily Mail. It talks of the chilling news that a cousin of the weed, known as Bohemian knotweed, it's a bit like Bohemian Rhapsody, isn't it? They might record it. And it's been spotted in the UK. Experts warn it's a more vigorous hybrid that is capable of breaking through concrete and walls. And this one was spotted in Buckinghamshire, where a lot of very rich people live, so watch out there.
Yeah, just when you thought it was safe to go back out in the garden. Now, over to Julia, who is with our travel expert, Simon Calder, who's ready to see if he can help solve a few more of your problems right here and now in our advice clinic.
Thank you, yes. And Simon, I'm guessing that you being a travel guru, at these particular times you've been incredibly busy. Well, joining us now is Carol from Sidcup in Kent. And Carol, I know you've got a story of woe you want to share with Simon, so tell us what's been happening.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Last year, my family and I booked a Mediterranean cruise for July 2020. we all got very excited about travelling, and then obviously